I think most people have done it. I love when it says scrambled because I'm sure, I was playing around with this yesterday with Mariah, and we had words that would come up instead of the image. So, okay. Does anybody want to share anything about why they picked the emoji? You don't have to, just thought maybe you might want to share with the group. Okay, go for it, Rian.
I was just saying, I'll share. I
Okay.
shared the one with the no, you're right, with like the goofy, like chaotic, crazy face because 2 weeks ago I was down in Petersburg and then in Sitka. And I don't know yet if they still have gotten connection, but Sitka had lost all internet texting, calling because a cruise liner dragged anchor on the ocean floor and broke their fiber optic of all internet access. So yeah, it's crazy, but just as Alaskans are, they're creative and in chugging away and they're doing great. So I was, out of the office traveling and doing partnership meetings and meeting with folks. And then last week, two of my best friends came up from Minnesota. And so we got to travel around and be tourists. But I was like 2 weeks out of the office. And now coming back, I'm like so yesterday, I just felt like I was running in place all day long and panting. So that was why I had that crazy face happening. Which I think is also often happening to me as I say it out loud. But without further ado, we're going to jump into the most sought after part of our meetings and talk about our community updates. So I just put in the chat the different things that we typically share during community updates, which are your name and community, um, what's going well in the community, any challenges that you're facing right now, any upcoming plans or events, maybe some summer successes or celebrations. I know in our last meeting in May, we had lots of events that we were talking about. And then if you have any questions or things that you're needing support from the ECN or need to pick our brains, this is a great place to do it. So I'm just gonna call on the first person to my right of Hollywood Squares, which is Miss Red.
Yay, it's me. Red. This is not whatever you want to call me is really appropriate. Homer, and this past weekend, Sprout held their annual Schwab. So that's for families that have gently used baby gear, equipment, toys, clothes, whatever, and they can bring it to our local high school. We have all the tables set up with labels, and they can put out their used goods and they can take whatever they want that's available. So we do it for several hours, and we just have so many people come in and put stuff out, and then we've got families in need coming back and like taking things. And I got to hold a 16-month-old for about 2 hours, so I was in heaven. But it was a really great community event because those families that were in need got to take anything they needed. We don't hold a strict one-to-one. Like we put up a sign that says, take one, bring one, take one. But what we mean is bring none and take 17. Like there's so much stuff. But it's a really great community event that is generally destigmatizing and everybody's in there for something different. So that was lovely. What do we have coming up? We have a lot of work locally with childcare communications. So encouraging businesses, providers, community members to all get together so that there is accurate information about what's available for childcare, and then some borough-wide work that we're doing as well. There's some great things happening with the after-school programming and the Icelandic prevention model here, and a future plan for that. So we're kind of out of COVID and like ready to go crazy and work. So it's going to be remembered to slow down. Yeah, so that's successful. I don't know. I haven't signed any MOU yet because we're waiting for other regional people to join in, but I don't think anyone's here.
No, just you.
Oh,
But those
there we
are
go.
great.
That's indicative.
I mean, I love the community swap, Red. That is so incredible. In fact, somebody was sharing this summer in one of our interviews that they often do that as well. And I was like, what a great way of not being wasteful and just being able to be like, hey, I have these things. Does anybody else want these things? We're My husband and I are really big on our Facebook Buy Nothing group, and that's essentially the same thing, right? Like, just I can't use it anymore. Please share. That it doesn't go to the landfill, right? And it helps. Yeah, I love the destigmatizing. Awesome. Red, do you want to call on the next person? That's how we'll do it. You can call the next person. You're pointing to
Colleen?
me, so.
Well, Colleen's on my, sorry.
Let me find the unmute button. Hi, everyone. Colleen Andrews. I am the project coordinator for Rock Matsu, and I'm in the Matsu Valley. What is going well? So Rock Matsu just recently wrapped up a series of community baby showers for 2024, and we had a ton of interest this year, which was super exciting, a little overwhelming. So just trying to incorporate everybody and trying to schedule all of those events was a little bit of a challenge, but we pulled it off. We hosted 4 different smaller dispersed baby shower events around the Matsu Valley. We had one in Talkeetna, one in Sutton, Palmer and Wasilla, and I think we had about 200 attendees total. I haven't finalized those numbers yet, but 200 feels about right. What else? That would also go for the summer success or celebration. Yeah, so that's about it for me, I think. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Colleen. That's wonderful to hear. I love 4 events. That's a lot of planning and organizing. So good job. Congratulations. That's a lot of great numbers. Do you want to call in the next person?
Sure. Let's call on Abby.
Hi everyone, Abby here, down on the Kenai Peninsula in Soldotna. I lead SAFER, which is our local upstream prevention alliance focused on plugging families into resources and support. What's going well? I think what's been really exciting here is that if you aren't familiar with 100% communities, I'd be happy to share at some point, but that is kind of our community-wide initiative trying to break down silos and improve cross-collaboration between vital services here in our community. And so SAFER has become the parent support action team under that umbrella. So there's 10 different action teams ranging from housing, transportation to vital survival services and then thriving services. And so the nice part about this is that we're looking at this in a bigger picture now, a more whole person, whole family, whole services picture. And so we have our monthly action team leads meetings, which is my SAFER monthly meeting. And then we've moved also to a quarterly action team lead meeting. And that's where we're really getting to some cross collaboration and conversations about partnering and leveraging resources and all the things that we so desperately need to do here to make the dollar bill stretch, but also just improve referral processes and all the things. So that's been really exciting and is continuing to prove to be a major progress here in our community. So I would say that is good. Challenges are just the ups and downs of grant funding, and some changes here locally with that have been challenging to navigate. And then summer successes, we had our family day this summer, which focused on an educational component around child development, which was really well received. We had I think we had 440 people come through that day. It was extremely successful. and a fun day, but also educational. So it was cool to see that merge of like, we moved the marble as far as educating our community, but made it fun and enjoyable for all. So that was a major win here. So those are my updates, and I will pass it over to, let's see, Anne.
Hello, guys. My name's Ann Shade. I'm with Bristol Bay Native Association out in Bristol Bay. And Jeannie's on here too. So Jeannie, if I forget something, fill me in.
Okay.
So what's going well? We are really pushing our home providers right now. We've been able to increase their rates. Still not able to get them state licensed, but we're working towards tribal licensure with the state. The reason that we're doing that is because I have 9 vacancies in my childcare center and I can't open. So we're really trying to, coordinate families with home providers and get things up and running that way until we can find some staff. We are also, like Abby was talking about, trying to do a better job of streamlining referrals and resources for families, working with the Workforce Development Program and the Family Services Department at BBNA to sort of do more comprehensive family plans instead of every department for themselves. So that's been a lot of work, and we're kind of getting to hopefully the end of that project. We don't do a lot during the summer, but I was thinking, listening to you guys with the baby showers and the stuff swaps, that's something that we can get on board with. We just hired a family and community partnership manager. And so that'll be part of their role, is trying to coordinate some of these events out in the communities, which is kind of hard. We have 31 villages. So we started with the 4 largest and hope to expand some of that to some of the smaller ones over the next year or two. That's about it, unless Jeannie has something to add.
Yeah, we did add some baby stuff. We ordered those little onesies for the young child's fair. So we're trying in that area. But the only thing I can think of for Summer Annie, that every time I drive by the toy that BB&A help fund the city, it's always played on. So I think that's significant.
Yeah, that was CCDF funding. We're trying to build a playground out in Togiak as well. So we're hoping to get that together for next summer's installation.
And then we are going to have our ICIT, our early childhood interagency team, and my HSAC meeting are tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get some more ideas about other agencies and their push toward early childhood.
Okay, I picked Shannon.
Well, I'm not really part of this, except for facilitating.
Yeah, but you're right next to me. So.
I know, and that's okay.
And
But I just have to say that I had a great time this summer as far as the community interviews go. So I just appreciate everyone on that. I learned so much from everybody and brought back great information, which I think you'll see how we kind of used what you said going forward. So I just appreciate everybody, your stories, your community stories, just being advocates in general for all Alaska children. So thank you so much. How about Tracy?
Hello, everybody. My name is Tracy Adams. I am with Thread, so I'm their community services person. So I come to this group with a statewide lens, but I do actually live in Fairbanks. So I'm here to kind of provide that statewide support from the Thread perspective. But I am excited to hear that we do have some Fairbanks representation, not here today with us, but that sounds like it's going to start to happen. So that's super exciting. So I guess what's going well, I'm going to kind of piggyback what's going well with summer successes. Thread has officially become a statewide organization. So we've got some systems internally in place that really just allow us to provide services across the state equitably, and everybody in all of our spaces across the state are kind of equally supporting that statewide mission. So we were also able to, all 3 of our hub offices, so Juneau, Fairbanks, and Anchorage, have all successfully moved into new office spaces. So if you're looking for us and you don't know where we are, just reach out to me and I can help you figure that out. And then we've done the open houses and all of those things for all 3 of those locations, and they were super well attended and super fun. I guess the piece that I just want to make sure I share that people know about as far as upcoming events is we are helping support all of our local AUIC conferences for early educators and supports. So if you guys have or know of people interested in those events, Northern Interiors event is actually happening the 27th of February, or I'm sorry, 27th of September. And they're also going to do an October 13th virtual option. And then Central Anchorage area AUIC, their conference is going to be in February, I think around the 20th. And then Southeast Conference is March 14th and 15th in Juneau. So again, if there's more information people want about that, just reach out to me and I can get you more specifics. But welcome back, everybody. I'm excited to be here. And I am going to pass it to Bailey.
Hello, I'm Bailey Schaefer from Kotzebue. My mom's at her other job right now, so it'll just be me today. For what's going well, our childcare is still going, still operating, and staffing has been going well since we took a break in July. So that would be one of our summer successes. We took July off. It was nice to just not worry about it for a little bit. We still had meetings and everything and grant applications, but it was nice to just have a little break. For another thing that's going well, we've had really great grant opportunities lately. And we just started a diaper bank here along with the church food bank. So we're giving out diapers every couple weeks. And then challenges, we're still lacking other community childcare. So that's been a challenge, is getting other entities in the community involved in that and getting stuff rolling. But yeah, that's it. It was nice to see everyone. Who hasn't gone yet?
We've got Nikki. Sorry, Nikki, I'm going to call you out.
Okay.
I looked right at you.
Not a problem. I am happy to go. My name is Nikki Love. I am with the Southeast Alaska Association for the Education of Young Children, otherwise known as AEYC in our region. And I am the creative director here. In the past, I have been the coordinator of our Early Childhood Coalition in Juneau, known as the Partnerships for Families and Children. We're now in our 28th year of collaboration. I know, I counted it up recently. It's like, oh, wow, that's a lot. We did hire a new coordinator, but unfortunately, with childcare being what it is, we were not able to keep that person. So our ED and myself, we are sharing the duties. And so I get to join you folks again, and I love it. So things that are going well, we've had a great summer. We have a number of grants and programs. One of them is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And we did our first ever Dolly Dash Family Fun Run. And many people came dressed as Dolly, or, you know, just sporting their wigs and pearls, little cowboy hats. And it was a ton of fun. We raised a lot of money. And I think for the first time, we're in the black with that program. So that was, yeah, very exciting. And so of course we have plans to keep doing that. Our Parents as Teachers program has expanded and now offers a 4th trimester program. So to all of those families on the waiting list, and I think at this point we have about 65 families on the waiting list. Of course, they've had their baby, but they're on the waiting list, so they can't get full services, sometimes up to a year. And we know how critical it is to be in touch with a home visitor and home educator in those early months. So we launched the 4th trimester program, and families get an abbreviated set of visits, and they also get welcomed into the parents as teachers group, and they're allowed to and invited to the group connection events. And we've got a playroom on site, and so they're able to benefit from all of these different program pieces while they wait to be formally on the home visiting list. So we're pretty excited about that. Our childcare apprenticeship program, we started last year. We have a cohort of 5 people. I believe they're halfway through. It is going beautifully. They're all situated in a variety of different licensed programs in our town. And they're also doing their university classes and meeting together as a cohort and really getting incredible quality hands-on learning in the programs. So of course, with that, we're building our workforce because, as I think we all know, there's just not enough childcare. So we've got to support the people coming into the field. And our stipend program to help increase wages for childcare programs. We had a big win last year. We won some sales tax revenue. So now it is built into our city budget. We're a recipient of those funds for the next 3 years on top of some other funding and work that we've done with our city officials. So we're really not only holding the line with our group of providers who are here, but we're working really hard at expanding the capacity because there is a Coast Guard icebreaker coming to town, and that's about 2 to 3 years out. And we know that there'll be 400 to 600 family members accompanying those service members who are coming. And those families have kids. So Juneau has to get ready, and we're helping them do that. And challenges, funding. If we had more funding, whoa, we could do so much more. So we're always out there, letting people know if you want to stem the flow of, all the social ills, invest young, and we can help, grow up a much more healthy and supported society. So that's it for us.
Incredible, Nikki. So great. Thank you for sharing all that. Also, I have got to see pictures of like these kids dressed up as Dolly Parton. Are you kidding? That is the best thing ever. That filled me up with so much joy. Let's see. I know you're probably saying, Rianne, why are you putting this in the chat? But we've had some new people come in, so I want to make sure the new people have our community update, what we're talking about. So I'm gonna call on Katie in Nome.
Hi. So I'm the injury prevention coordinator here at Norton Sound, also a health educator. Sometimes I help Stephanie staying with the events that they do here for the Early Childhood Coalition. So one of our big success this summer was the bike rodeo. We were able to collaborate with COERIC and hand out car seats to community members and help them with like car seat fittings. So that was one of the big successes for our program. But we do a lot of other things with injury prevention and tobacco prevention, goal setting, family outcomes, kind of like things that family advocates do with Head Start. And right now I'm focusing on getting reflectors out to the communities in our region. So that's what I'm doing, what I'm up to. I don't know if Stephanie is on or anyone else from Nome with any other updates. I didn't see anybody, but I know that they just recently had a event. I was not here for it, but they had an event for stay-at-home moms, like some toddler activities and stuff. So they hosted that. They, as in Norton Sound, the WIC department, other health educators.
Nice, that's awesome. Thank you, Katie. I love the big radio. When we were there in May in Nome, we noticed how many kids all had helmets on. And like we were like, anytime we'd see it, we're like, oh wow, I like your helmet. You always want to praise a kid for wearing helmets so that the cool kid wearing a helmet. But every kid had helmets, and Stephanie was saying that that was a part of the bike rodeo, maybe the year before, is everybody got bike helmets. Is that still something that they get for
Yes,
going to the bike rodeo?
we always hand out bike helmets at the bike rodeo. That's one of the bigger events. Sometimes I have community members helping me with bike helmet fittings.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, bikes, ATVs, submachine helmets, we have all those at our injury prevention program here in Nome. And we ship free to the villages for people that need them in the villages.
So, well, thank you for being here. Let's see, Casey.
Excuse me, sorry. Hi, my name's Casey Warner. I am located in Seward on the Kenai Peninsula. I am the hyper director. I focus on increasing the licensed childcare capacity, quality, and enrichment here in the Seward community. One of our biggest successes is on Sunday, we just had our Q3 provider meet and greet. We ended up, shoot, the number's gonna elude me. I believe we ended up having 14 participants. We had every single one of our licensed providers show up. We also had all of their staff show up. And we had 2 new individuals that are not engaged in our childcare startup grant program. So we're hoping that we can get them engaged and continue moving forward in increasing licensed childcare. We are on target for fiscal year 24, right? 25, fiscal year 25, 24, one of the two. I'll have to look at my numbers, but to have 72 licensed childcare slots in our community. When we first started working on this, we only had 16 licensed slots, and we have roughly 200 to 250 children in between 0 and 5 in the community. So making some big successes, getting ready, just getting the opportunity to share that stuff out now. So super excited.
That's good data right there.
That's
Do you want to pick
amazing.
someone, Casey? I think we have Heather and Amy and Becky and
Yeah, I was just on another
maybe
meeting
Olivia.
that
Sorry.
Heather was in there, so I might popcorn over to you.
Yeah, I got pulled into the discussion on that end, and I forgot I was supposed to be over here, so I had to quickly get out of the other Zoom call. So Heather Burke, I'm over here in Kodiak, and we've had quite the summer. Yesterday when you sent out this list of summer successes and celebrations, I started writing and looking at calendars and things, and my list just kept growing. So I felt really proud of our little community of not very many that we've had so many activities. So I was impressed just as I wrote things down. So I'm the coordinator of the infant learning program, and I, along with the vice president of community services, we represent the ECN here in Kodiak. So some challenges within our community, of course, I think everybody probably said the similar, is that the childcare, we've been having a lot of concerns with childcare. We have a large Coast Guard population, and the Child Development Center had to cut some employees, which then resulted in some cuts of attendance. So a big scramble to get kiddos care while parents work. We also have a very big, it's a Baptist mission, which offered a lot of daycare and after school programs, and they had to stop offering both their preschool programs and their after school programs. So again, families are needing to rearrange where their kids are attending school. So that was kind of a challenge for us. Some successes, though, we had a very big, in May, we have a very large crab fest for the whole community. So it was very well attended. We lucked out and had some nice weather. So we were pretty lucky to let all the kids enjoy the activities that come along with Crab Fest. We recently just did a block party, so an end of summer party downtown, and we had a large traffic. Infant Learning was set up as a booth, so I got to see exactly what was going on, and there was a lot of foot traffic, so I was really impressed with that. And I look through the past months so our coalition, we have a nice calendar that's organized with different things on the website. And as I looked back over the past months, we had a lot going on. We had a lot of camps happening. We had some arts, which was some camp art programs put on by the city. The library had activities going on for play groups and reading groups, and the refuge had nature education program, just lots of things to have kiddos get outside or get to another building and get out of their home for a little while. We have some upcoming events. We have a diaper drive that one of our local churches puts together for our community. We have a free lactation consultant program within Kodiak, and they're offering some free feeding classes. Lots of free play groups. From the Infant Learning program, we struggle with our play groups, but there are a lot to choose from within Kodiak, so maybe that's one of our struggles. Having an ophthalmologist come to town to take a look at vision. And we're going to have a free health fair that's going to be put on by public health and some other community members. So get those vaccines going for people free of charge. And it's going to be at our high school. So an easy access place to get some health fair information. We also, another success is we were able, so Infant Learning and WIC got a grant from the borough, which got us some funding for some training and supplies for both those two programs that we haven't been able to get in the past couple of years. So we were pretty excited for that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Heather. I love that. There was some sunshiny weather, especially for Crab Fest, for everybody to get out and enjoy it. And what a special time to highlight the community. And it sounds like everyone's really stepping up. Like, to have a full community calendar, that's pretty incredible, and stuff focused on kids and family. I know in terms of, man, I feel like I'm so alone in this. It looks like you guys have a good community who's rallying around all the kids and families. So thank you for sharing. Olivia, hello.
Hi.
You want to share what's happening in Valdez?
Yeah, so you said it. I'm from Valdez, not originally, but I live in Valdez now. And I work for Providence Valdez Medical Center. So I'm a nurse. I'm not in the early child field, but I'm definitely a big advocate for early child care and education and our workforce. I am a Thread board member. I sit on the city council here, and I also teach nursing school for UAA. So just like everyone here, we all wear tons of hats. We had a child care crisis task force that wrapped up in September after we worked with the Stellar Group to identify our 4 major pillars of opportunity. We have since then acquired the Community Innovations Grant, which I was not part of that because that's a Thread grant and I had nothing to do with it, but the Child Care Task Force did acquire that. And then Lisa Murkowski also earmarked $3 million for Valdez to renovate a child care facility. So money right now is not our problem. Our issues are just like everyone else, facility, workforce, business operation plan, and I forget the other one right now. We have no licensed childcare in Valdez, so that's our challenge. We're trying to move forward. We have a bike helmet rodeo. This year we did some bike helmet decorating, which I'm not sure that the helmet manufacturers would necessarily agree with that, but the kids really loved it. So we just had a bunch of stickers and they were able to put them on their bikes and decorate their helmets, and it was a fun activity. But that's kind of what we have going on, and a lot of other things, but not as much as your community. But our library is amazing. and Parks and Rec.
I love that. Thank you, Olivia. And did you have a question for Olivia?
I just had a comment for Olivia. I was on a
Yeah.
different meeting yesterday and Chugach just got an expansion grant to open Head Start in Valdez. So you guys will be, I don't know if I'm not supposed to let the cat out of
They
the
got
bag.
it.
Got it. So apparently the facility's already been remodeled or identified.
Oh, thank you. Oh my
You
God.
betcha.
That just gave me chills. I love that raw response. What a celebration. That's amazing. Let's see, Becky. Hello, Becky. Long time no see. I was just in Petersburg with my friend Becky.
Yes, I am late to this meeting, so I apologize if I don't quite cover what you're asking, but I'm Becky from Petersburg, traditional lands of the Klinkonani people. I guess for Petersburg, over the last couple months, something big that was for us is that we have a couple trainers, myself and a coworker, that are certified to teach youth mental health first aid. We held a couple community trainings, and we also were at the school. We got 75% of our school staff certified in youth mental health aid, which allowed us also to now go into teen mental health first aid. We received a grant that covered the full training from our local community foundation, so we will be rolling that out into our schools. I know this is early childhood, but it's still a big, exciting thing for us. So we'll be working well with the 9th and 11th graders this year. We had some extra youth programming this summer with different types of camps, outdoor recreational camps in our community. We partnered with our local domestic violence agency WAVE here, which they provided grants or they provided scholarships, and they helped cover the funds that were needed, which was great. We had A2P2 here come to town. We had 2 meetings, one for our community and then also with our providers, which was great to connect some of our people with resources outside of our community and to actually let them know what Help Me Grow is and such. There was good feedback from that. I did hear someone mention a bike rodeo. We had a bike rodeo here. Our Elks and Emblem Club holds. However, we through the Share Coalition, we are doing a new initiative that is actually going to be offering bike helmets, recreation type of helmets that can go for both, sledding, skiing, ice skating, and bike riding. High quality ones. We received a grant from our local fire department to get them, or funds for it, and we also got some money. I am not the person that's running it, so I'm sure exactly, but I believe it was the injury prevention unit. So we'll be getting that, and we're rolling that out to a bigger wide of our, starting with our young ones and our kids, and then moving all the way through adults, because we want adults to be modeling that protecting your head is very important. We are doing a roll and stroll to school day next Thursday, where we will be handing out these helmets and also doing proper fittings of the helmets as well. And then we've had an early child task force going in our community for a while. Over the summer, we kind of disembarked for a while, but we are coming back together because there is a lot of land that we would like to utilize and build off for our community that is for early childhood, and just heard that someone wants to put a driveway through it. So we're forming back up, and we're gonna hopefully tackle that. And then we are having one of our licensed child facilities is closing, which is going to put a big burden on our community. So we're gonna be talking about that initiative as well, what we can do. I'm sure I'm missing other things that we have done, but my quick little sketches here I wrote down, and that is it.
That's amazing. So many big things. I'll just say, like, when we came to Petersburg, Becky and Charlotte and Ricky, who are all people who have been part of the ECN, did such a great job getting people together and being on board for not only like Help Me Grow, but just like community conversations. There's a lot of great stuff, and Becky is one of the cornerstones of getting all of the big things happening and going along with all the other busy stuff with her family. So it was wonderful to see you in action there and get to brag to the other people, be like, look how great Becky is. And they're like, she's so great. So it was wonderful to be there. Let's see, Amy. Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon. I'm Amy Collins, and I'm the Executive Director of Best Beginnings, and also serving as an interim co-chair along with Stephanie O'Brien, who is with Cook Inlet Tribal Council and previously was with Rural Cap. So together we've been co-chairing the Anchorage Early Childhood Coalition, taking over for my coworker Stephanie Schott, who's no longer with Best Beginnings, went back to the library world. So in terms of our summer challenges, successes, and updates, we did not meet as a coalition over the summer, except Stephanie did a series of office hours with our members to talk about successes we had and things we wanted to work on over this next year. So we talked about the program in our infant learning program that's been distributing SwaddleMe bags to new moms in hospitals. There were over 900 bags they were able to give out over this last year, which was awesome, and continuing to support that program. We hosted our spring baby shower, and the group really wanted to keep that annual effort within the Early Childhood Coalition. And so we're working on making sure that that stays part of what we do and just information sharing. So we're still working on our fall meeting calendar, but we also, as a city, went through a really big transition with a new mayor. And so we've had members from the coalition participating in that transition team, and I was really exciting to see childcare take up such a huge portion of that transition team report with some really clear 6-month, 1-year, and 3-year recommendations about actions that could be taken here in Anchorage to address some of these workforce issues, and talking about how they can also support coalition efforts to make sure it has structural support to continue. Alongside that transition report, we also have members who were helping with the implementation team for new marijuana tax revenue to also support early education. And that implementation team just released its report on what they want to see those funds used for to really bolster the field. And so now we've shared through our membership opportunities to join the accountability board for that revenue. So just kind of keeping a pulse on how some of this new funding and new administration work might impact our field, hopefully in a positive way. Because we also heard from members the same feedback that you all are hearing, which is that workforce shortages and burnout is pretty high. And so just knowing that there's a lot of staff shortages and how we can support people trying to do direct service delivery during this time is really critical, and even in our own organization. So that's something we're paying attention to. And then there was a smattering of summer events. I know our school district team was running our summer play to learn groups for 3 to 5, and they're continuing those into the fall, and those have been really popular. We hosted a transitional summer camp program for kids without preschool experience, and we had about 30 kids enrolled this summer using COVID learning loss funds that are now expiring. So trying to figure out how we sustain that program to keep offering it, since we know the effects of the pandemic are still being experienced by our up and coming kindergartners. And then we have been working through many different organizations with kind of establishing kid zones at a bunch of community events. So we had a kid zone at the Blueberry Festival in Girdwood, at the Multicultural Festival in Anchorage, and there were a couple of family fun days at the zoo. And then we've just been kind of sharing that announcement with other early coalition members to get them to have a presence at these events and make sure that they are accessible, and using that as a resource sharing opportunity to get families enrolled and connected to services. So that's been going really well. I think that's everything on my list. I don't know, Stephanie, if you have anything to add. Great.
No, you remembered things I didn't remember. So well done. It's been busy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That is very busy. I love to hear the kid zone. That's such a cool thing. Very, very cool. Let's see. I'm just looking around. Bobby Joe. Hi.
Hi.
I saw the little twinkle. Like, don't forget me.
Well, thanks. So I'm Bobby Jo Van Sickle from the Child Care Program Office, and this has, been a busy year for the Child Care Program Office. It was our CCDF plan year, so there's that, and all of the impacts of the governor's task force for child care. But in terms of exciting things that impact this group is it's been mentioned at least once, the Community Innovation Grant, which is actually put out by the Child Care Program Office, but was administered, the awards were administered through Thread. I am now the CCPO point of contact for the innovation grants, and the summer's been really cool. We've had 4 community innovation grant networking meetings, and it's been really neat to see communities from Huna to Homer like make connections over shared successes, shared struggles, and really seeing this resource sharing between the communities has been awesome. And if there's anyone on here that hasn't made it to any of those meetings, I'd love to chat about, scheduling, because we're not married to the time and date we've been putting them on. So any thoughts about that would be great. And then the exciting thing with the innovation grants is we were able to extend the deadline for spending out funds through December. So that's really exciting for some communities. Just need a little extra time getting those funds spent. So there's that. And it's just really exciting to hear people talking about what they're doing with that grant monies in this forum as well. So that's all I've got. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby Joe. I 100% agree with you. I was down in Sitka and got to meet Chris Washko and Annette from the Nature and Nurture program. Incredible program. Nikki, I know that you guys have potentially been, she mentioned Blue's name. So I was like, oh, I've got so many people to connect them with and just like retouch base, because their program's wonderful. And it's great that it was started from the innovation grant funds. So very exciting. Thank you for sharing, Bobby Joe. All right. Megan, did you have anything else to add to welcome? It's so great to see you. Colleen shared a little bit of all the great successes from Rock Matsu, from baby showers, but wasn't sure if you had anything else to add.
I think we're good. Yeah, she did an awesome job.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. I think that's everybody, right? Okay, this was
Unless
so
Tracy
amazing.
has anything to add, but I think Bailey covered it.
Yeah,
probably.
Bailey did a great
Tracy?
job. Tracy, if you have anything else. That's okay. Bailey, you did wonderful. Thank you all. It was so wonderful to catch up with you all during those summer interviews, and just like hearing the excitement of what's coming, what we're gonna do, and everything was just really fun. And that's kind of like going into my next section. The summer interviews are just a replication of what we're hearing here from all the updates. Like this team, this group here, Shannon and I probably said this in all of your interviews too, like we could solve all of Alaska's problems, like in terms of early childhood. Hearing all these great ideas and the things that everybody's creating is just so wonderful. And it's just like really encouraging to know that, in those moments where you feel like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? You have a group here who can help support you, who can help give you those ingenious ideas like a Dolly Parton fun run or a kids zone, right? These are all things that we've got great ideas for, or be the best bearer of great news like Ann just did for all these communities. I just love the community update piece is just the best, and everybody said that too during the summer interview. So I just compiled some thoughts or some of our themes that we saw during our summer interviews that I wanted to share with everybody. Whoopsies. Let me get to summer interviews. So as y'all shared, just because we met with each of you guys, some of you we got to meet in person, which was wonderful. We hope to expand that next year to see more of you in person. But then the rest of you, virtually. And so what we really heard from early childhood efforts and communities, there's lots of varied activities and coalitions that are happening in the communities. Well, some of them are super active. Others, as even Becky just said, we got to get back and get going because there's a driveway coming through, or people are getting excited because of some grant funding that came through. It seems like everybody across the state is reigniting or getting creative to get their coalitions back together and start working. So it's not just falling on one or two people in the community. And if that is your case, how can we as the ECN or Shannon and myself be supportive to you to get those coalitions up and going again? So the most pressing needs, of course, as we just talked about, childcare is a huge one, the number one that everybody mentioned, workforce, specialized like pediatric therapies, especially in our remote communities around OT, PT, speech. We need more help around funding, mental health supports. All these like were shared challenges or pressing needs within our communities. And then just engaging in broader community partnerships, connecting with ILP, that whether they're there normally or they're coming in on a rotating basis, it's something that is happening in communities, but then also needing more support in that area. Having some great community coalitions, hosting community events, and then connecting to the school district has been a barrier, but then like trying to create those stronger relationships with the school district, because as we all know, the little babies, the early childhood goes into the school district. And so that's a great pathway of connection that we need to have. You all share that the best part of community, or one of the best part of ECN meetings, is our community updates. So we will never miss a time to do community updates. I just love all of them. I know that you all shared that with us too. Somebody shared, like I've done copycats events from several communities that have shared about them in ECN meetings. Just the relationships that we're able to build during those times is wonderful. And then some good improvement suggestions that we received: change date and time of meeting. And I'll just put a big check mark next to that because we surveyed what is your open and available times. And I know that it's not going to work for every month for every person, but we're recording these. And then we also have ways that Sharon's going to talk about here in a minute to continue connecting. We do have our season set for all of our meetings, and we're still working on our themes that we'll be working with our advisory council on, as well as getting more ideas from you all on special guest speakers and topics of discussion. We are, as I mentioned, going to get some statewide speakers, and then talking about a virtual space where you all can connect if you miss a meeting. So that has been something that we, and I say we as in Shannon, spent a lot of time doing this summer. Has been putting together our ECN platform. So that's a really wonderful segue to go to our ECN virtual platform. And I'm going to let my friend Shannon share.
Sure.
Because it's here, folks.
It is. Okay, so after looking at different platforms, prices, what we actually kind of wanted after hearing from all of you is we went with the Padlet. And I don't know how many of you have ever used Padlet. We talked about this during some of the community interviews. We did the Padlet. Basically, it's been revised and updated since COVID. I think, COVID was a big time when people used Padlet. It was an easy platform to use, and they've just added to it. So we went through training, we went through all of this with Padlet and thought this really fits. And I think why we liked it is because you as a membership can have input into it. You can put things there and it's not just us. And that's the whole idea with this networking and community voice is we want everyone, this to be yours and to work for you. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the link. We'll also send out this as well. And I also have Padlet instructions to hopefully walk you through how to do some of these things and how to navigate it. It's fairly pretty easy, but there are some things I think that would be kind of fun to use if you're like thinking of some of the activities and stuff you guys talked about today. So what it is we have a message board. Anything you want right up front can go in a message board. Here we have the home visiting echo that just started yesterday, I believe. And this also has some parent engagement involved in the home visiting echo. That's through UAA. Our next section, we have our ECN advisory council members with their contact information. So if you ever want to reach out to an advisory member, there you have it. Our meeting schedule for 24-25, this is what Rianne was talking about. And as we build it, we'll add to this. And then this will be where we'll put all our minutes and recordings as well. So if you miss a meeting, you're welcome to come here. If you wanted to come back and see what someone said, it should be in the recordings and minutes. This is what everyone was asking for, a directory. So here is the ECN directory. If I miss someone, I can still add to it. We tried to get everybody we could, but you never know. We might have missed someone in there. But all you do is you click on it. Can you guys still see this? Did it okay. And it's interactive. So I can go to Kodiak and get Heather's, where Heather works, and her email address. And I believe this is Arwen. This is Arwen. Or you can come along to the white ribbon and go to the community that you're looking for, and it will pull up that way as well. So here are right now our ECN members in the state of Alaska. We decided not to put phone numbers down. I think emails right now, and we'll let you guys decide that as we move forward. But that is our directory. Newsletter and resources, anything we want to update there. Our community update, and I have an idea for this, so I'll come back to community update. Let's just go discussion board. These were 2 questions that members had, and I put your names on them, and I hope you don't mind. Just then, if anybody wants to help answer these I think probably about a month old, Rianne, right? Maybe a little older. But you can go ahead and just answer in the comment area. Or if you have a question, you can put it in here. So it's just where we have that thread of discussion happening. Anything out of our ECN network or retreat, so soon we'll have the FY25 retreat in there. Our ECN documents, help me grow materials, training requests, any funding connections that are coming up, we'll put here. Any trainings that we have, we can put up here, or someone else can add to it. Or if you want Rihanna and I to send it to us and we'll add it. Toolkits, upcoming conferences. So Tracy, when you're talking about AUIC conference, this will be a great place. We'll add that to this, or you can. Job opportunities. This was one of, I believe, our advisory committee members or council members said this would be a great section to have, is on job opportunities. So if a community has openings, you can put it here. So I'm going to come back really quick. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, to community updates. The reason why I decided to do an instruction sheet is because there's a couple of different ways if you wanted to participate in community updates. Is you can go in and just hit the plus sign. And you can just add, like this, let's say Kodiak, and then write an update here and just publish it. Or that's an easy way. Or you can go in and you can actually do a Padlet, your own Padlet, community Padlet, and embed it into the ECN Padlet. And it's fairly easy, but I do have instructions in the ECN Padlet instruction page if you want to do that. And that way you'll always have a Padlet on here. You would just go into your Padlet and change things, add things. If you had pictures, you could put them there. But what I would suggest is just kind of playing with it. And if you have questions, reach out. I'm willing to do, it took me a little bit to just play around with it to learn it. I think Rianne too. But if you feel like you need it, we can do a one-on-one, or we could do just a small group going through different aspects of Padlet so it's easier to use. The other good thing about this is that if someone is to add something to Padlet, let's say Bobby Joe adds something about innovation grants in here, everyone who has logged into Padlet will get a notification that someone has put something new into Padlet. So you'll get an email that says, oh, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it just gives you that tickler to go and look at Padlet. So any questions on Padlet? do you think that kind of fits what everyone's been asking for, at least for now? At some point, you may find a better platform. I think we just did a yearly subscription, right, Rianne?
Yeah, we did.
So it's only for a year.
Yeah. And it's very intuitive and super easy to use and set up. So also, like, if you are looking for a platform for internal things or your coalition, Padlet is also very easy to use. So you can use this as like a practice to become an expert to create your own thing. It's like very affordable. Happy to talk those logistics, but it's really easy to use and to manage. And as Shannon said, we want this to be like your guys' everyone's space. So you have questions or ideas or anything, that discussion board is a great place to be able to share that, as well as any of our notes and recordings from this. Then we won't have to spam your email anymore. Only the reminders of the meetings. Everything else will be on the Padlet.
And only those of you, I mean, it's only who you give the URL to. So it's only our group. So just to let you know, not everyone can see it unless you want them to see it. And the other kind of fun thing, I don't know if you've ever used Jamboard. Jamboard went away, but Padlet has what's called Sandbox, which is very similar. And that's been kind of fun too. So there's some fun little things and activities you can do within Padlet as well as, you know, your community, or we can do it as a group. But play around with it. If you have any questions, reach out to either of us. I'm going to go ahead and send in an email the URL again, plus the Padlet instructions, the cheat sheets is what I call them. And then at least you have those to help you get in to navigate it. You know, hopefully I reached every part of it, but I may have missed something. So I just hope it works for everybody.
And if you misplace the link, don't hesitate to email Shannon and I. I bookmarked it on my computer, so it's on my, my tab. But if you misplace it, no worries. Don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah,
for it.
and I'll go ahead and email. Like I said, I'll email the link to you, so you have it in an email from us as well as the instructions. So you'll have it numerous places.
Awesome, Shannon. Do you want to talk about our season plans?
Sure. So do you have that slide? Do you have it?
To save the date.
Well, are you talking about what we're doing with our calendar going forward, along with the save the date for the? Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have the save the date, which we'll put on. You already put it on Padlet, I believe, Rianne.
We haven't transitioned it over.
Padlet.
It's in our Padlet.
Yeah, and then it's also, so we have a save the date for the 2025 retreat, which right now we're still tentatively at the BP Center, just like last year. The 12th, 13th, 14th. The 12th is just for advisory, the advisory council, and then the 13th and 14th for the membership. Stellar will be facilitating again, which will be great. So that's going to be a positive. So I think, we just talked to Stellar on Monday, and even though it's February, we want to be prepped, right? We'd really like, if we want to bring in speakers, or we want to make sure that we have everything done way ahead of time. That includes, travel in, all of that. So we're really starting to get a head start on this. So if you have any ideas, which again, we're looking at what you gave us in community interviews, but any ideas of what you want for this retreat for 2025, please email us. The advisory council, like I said, their directory is on the Padlet as well, so we can get this going. So that will be, coming up soon. Actually, when you think about, we're almost the end of September. It's coming fast. And then, as Rianne said, we have a monthly calendar of our meetings already scheduled. And I believe we have the next 2 months with a presenter. So we'll look at the rest of those months to fill in. Next month, we have Stellar coming to do a presentation on their ECN evaluation that they did. And any suggestions there, if anybody wants to be part of that or has questions on the ECN evaluation, let us know. I think we have it, right, Rian? We have the copy. We could probably send it out to the membership prior to the presentation so you can read through it. And if you have questions for them or us, then you're set. And then for the November meeting, we have Part C, the Infant Learning Program. I believe it's Susan Kessler and probably Pam Kellish. She just got married, so it's Pam Burton. Will be coming to speak on some of those, to tell us a little bit more about ILP, but also some of the concerns people had on why services aren't happening more like they used to be, why it's harder to get certain disciplines. And so, you know, that'll be coming out of the summer interview. We'll have them. And so then we just have, you know, the rest of the months to fill in for presentations, trainings, anything like that that you guys would want. So, does that sound like a plan? Okay.
Excellent. Great. Well, I know we've been mentioning them and talked about it, but we haven't done like a formal introduction of our ECN Advisory Council. And so I just wanted to give space to talk a little bit about the Advisory Council and let them introduce themselves. In essence, the Advisory Council helps inform, we just work as a team together to like make decisions in terms of what our meetings are going to look like, themes that we need to run with. If somebody has been contacted by a member to be like, hey, this is a concern I have, how can we as an ECN membership like support the community? So really like just having another on the ground bigger area of support. And so our ECN Advisory Council members right now are Tracy Adams with Thread, Bobby Jo Van Sinkle with CCPO, Abby Streffert with Safer, Cassie Werner down in Seward, and I forget your agency, I'm so sorry. And then Red. And so I just wanted to give an opportunity for those folks to introduce themselves and maybe share how long they've been on the ECN, just so that you have the people, you know, the people who to reach out to. So Tracy, I'm going to call on you first to just introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Tracy Adams. I'm from Thread and I live in Fairbanks. And I have been associated with the ECN for the last 2 years, which is also how long I've been back at Thread in this role.
Awesome. Thank you. Casey, how about you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Casey Warner down in Seward. I'm the director of Hyper, which is underneath the umbrella of Seward Prevention Coalition. I've been part of the ECN since the inception. I want to say like 2020. I was like, why are we meeting on Zoom? I don't get what's happening. But here we are. It's part of our lives now. So that's who I am, and just really excited to see the way that the ECN has grown.
Bobby Jo?
Hi, Bobby Jo Van Sickle with the Child Care Program Office. My home office is Anchorage, but I live and work a lot out of Talkeetna. And I've been with the ECN since I think just shortly before the first retreat. So a couple years now.
Thank you. Let's see. Is Abby still here? I don't see her square anymore.
I know Abby said that she had some conflicting meetings today. Yeah.
That's okay. Abby and Red are no longer here, but we obviously, Shannon and I are ready and available to support whenever, but then also you have the coalition or the advisory council as well to support. And I'm getting a baby who needs a nap. So this is Kaimana. This is my 15-month-old. Anyway, all right, this is kind of everything to wrap up our first kickoff meeting. Was there anything that anybody thought of or things that they wanted to share or ask for in the last, I mean, we have a little bit of time left. Any other thoughts? No? Okay, wonderful. Well, I just want to remind you all that our next meeting will be October 10th. And this will be our regular meeting schedule. Today was our first kickoff meeting, so it was a different time. But our regular meetings will be on the second Thursday of the month from 12:30 to 2 p.m. And so our next meeting will be October 10th from 12:30 to 2. And again, we have the Stellar group who's going to come and talk, but we always have time at the beginning for our community updates. So looking forward to hear if there's anything that we can do to support you in between now and the next meeting. Please let us know. Don't be a stranger. However we can support, we do. So thank you all, and we'll chat soon. It's so great to see you all. I feel so energized.
Thank
Gonna have a
you.
great season. All right, take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, shoot. Oops, I think I accidentally removed her from. Hold on, stop recording.